Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Hi, Karina. Hi, Denise Brady. Hello, good to see you. I was just telling Karina I'm a little tired. I was at Disney all week and then I came back. I had to work, do a lot of home inspections, and I've been running around doing all kinds of things. And it was so much fun. I missed Disney already. I have a lot of tips for you guys. If you ever plan to have a Disney trip, I have a lot of tips because it was a very pleasant, like laid back trip, even though Disney is crazy. There's so many people there. We also had, hi, Ask Bob, good to see you. I also had the pleasure of being on the Young Jerks show this weekend. It was amazing. Please go check it out. We had a lot of fun doing the body language for the Mac Alberts interview. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, but not exactly that interview. We're going to look at the Alberts a little bit closer. We're going to look closer at the Met Alberts. I can't even talk. I'm so tired. But I wanted to do this show today because I want Sunday to be our day. You know, as much as I can, I want to go live on Sundays afternoon because I want to connect with you guys and stay connected. So hi, Queen Olive. Good to see you here in the chat. So I want to go back in time a little bit and go over the McAlberts and just how their demeanor and their body language is unnatural during this trial since last year all the way up to today. One thing that Mike and I talked about a lot was that when the Alberts gave this interview after the verdict from Karen Reed, it just seemed very unnatural, very robotic, very rehearsed, lacking emotion. Nobody's like showing any emotion. And it was just very strange to be able to do that, uh, to like believe them that they came out talking about pretty much how this affect them, being very selfish about themselves, distancing themselves from the victim's family, and it just seemed like a a badly written PR move from the Alberts. Hello, Marcy's iCloud, aka Denise. It's good to see everybody. Hi, Lucinda. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I hope everybody's like getting prepared for, we're going to have a long weekend here in the USA for the 4th of July coming up. So it's good to see everybody. I love that we're staying connected. So let me start out with this video, which is kind of you guys like to have fun here, right? I like to have fun here. You know it. We're going to have a little bit of a montage on the judge. And it's a little song we did last year that is very, very cute and funny to watch, just about like 2 minutes maybe, just to get ourselves started. Investigate. Whoa, that is so loud. Hold on. Let me just turn it down a little bit and put it on full screen here. Let's enjoy a little bit of this trial that we missed so much. Here you go.
Approach.
Yes.
Approach.
Yes. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call rest. Objection. May we approach? May we approach?
Investigate.
Approach.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call rest.
Is that her name?
Just briefly. Just briefly. Just briefly.
So you've moved on from that. So, see, I don't see that as being, the report, I don't see that as being detailed. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call rest.
No, I'll allow that. No, I'll allow that. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Hi,
Sustained.
Mark.
Objection.
Good afternoon. Happy
Sustained.
Sunday, everybody. Happy
One more
Sunday.
May we approach?
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call rest.
So silly. How
Thank
old
you,
am
Your Honor. Call
I?
rest.
Oh, Brian.
Thank you,
we
Your Honor.
missed you.
May we approach?
Heyo.
So you've moved on from. So see, I don't see that as being. The report. I don't see that as being detailed. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call with rest.
Repetitive testimony.
I don't intend to, Your Honor. Well, he didn't because the court struck it.
It should not have been done.
Well, Your Honor,
Go ahead.
respectfully, the Commonwealth left the jurors with a misimpression intentionally.
So, but this was specific, and it wasn't objected to, right? So,
So
Mr. Lally's question wasn't objected to.
biased.
Is there an objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the objection sustained.
Objection.
Biased.
I don't think he
He said that, but we'll let that.
Right, so Mr. Lally's question wasn't objected to.
Approach.
Yes,
Approach.
yes. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained. No, I'll allow that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Call with
Is
rest.
that correct?
Yes.
I gotta get him.
Right now, correct?
Yes, after the objection, sir, yes.
Who's the retarded client?
May we approach?
Referring to Ms. Reed again.
May we approach?
Unprofessional language.
Approach.
Yes.
Who you referring to?
Miss
I know
Reed.
you got an
Thank you, Your
explanation.
Honor. Call with rest.
Who was it you were referring to?
I missed those silly videos from last year. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hello, TJ White. Good afternoon and happy Sunday to you and to Coffee. Coffee sounds amazing right now. Good evening. Good evening, Bianca and chat. Big Tuna. Allow all you want. Karen had the last laugh. Did you guys see how even well, of course, last year, even in the pre-trial motions, the judge you didn't object to that. So her favorite way to say, so yeah, you're not gonna go any. It's repetitive test. I'll allow that. I'll allow that. Just absolute bias all over the place, showing to all of us. So Brian Albert also, during the closing statement last year from Alan Jackson, he had a lot to say with his face. He was not happy with Alan Jackson doing the closing. And I thought we would revisit that a little bit as well, because it's important to see, compare this to this new interview, right? Because they came out with this new interview where they're all sitting there. And you guys saw it probably on the Young Jerks. Let me pull it up here a little bit, just so we can see their body language and how it seems so rehearsed. And they're trying to portray a certain image. Let me see. What is the image? The image that we are just, we're just like a family. We are just victims of all of this. We are now being called murderers, but this is our town. So we really don't have anywhere. We're not. Why should we go somewhere? That's how they ended the interview. And the journalist was very intentional in his questions as well. Even when he was trying to help the Alberts, Brian, why didn't you come out of your house? And then Brian was like, I'm not a Canton police. And the journalist is like, and you were also in shock, surprised, right? You were confused. He's trying to help Brian because the journalist can feel that it doesn't make sense for the normal person to answer something like that. Oh, it just didn't come out because I'm not a Canton police officer. What does that have to do with anything? Any of us normal people would have come out if somebody had barged in your room saying, oh my God, John is outside. John is dead outside. John is dead outside. What? Get up, put your pants on or whatever, and go. No matter if you're Canton, Boston, FBI, if you are a pizza delivery guy, it doesn't matter what your profession is. You go outside and you look at, you see, you want to know what's happening. So let me see here. If we're going to play, this is from Mike. I hope you guys watched this on the Young Jerks.
It's line, but it's an adapter. It's drug. Is it?
I just want to play a little bit of the
Very
interview.
And the thing is,
But all I do is talk.
Enjoy-
You can't see the interview.
It's fascinating.
Let me
happened to
see.
John.
I have it somewhere
this
else.
live.
I have it somewhere else. I'll put it on from where Mike sent it to me. Or actually, I have it saved on my computer. And I want to just compare that interview. Thank you, Corinna, for watching it on
The
my
criminal
channel.
justice system has
Even I was like, oh, is my channel streaming right now? These people in my chat, that was amazing because Mike gets a lot of views. I mean, my video with him had $25,000. I wish 25,000 views already, and I was like, that's awesome. You know, we have a small chat, and I love all of you guys. But it's awesome to be able to have that type of exposure. Okay, so this is a little bit of the Mac Alberts interview 2025.
let us down at every turn. And yesterday was the final letdown. And that's why we're here.
And that's why we're here. No, you're here to create a persona. You're here to portray an image of a victim, of somebody who is under an unfair situation, of somebody who's just trying to live in your city, and now everybody's calling you a murderer. That's why you're here. You're here in this interview for a reason, and that is to try to help yourself, help your image, so that you can try to have a normal life from now on, because you know, everywhere you go, people are not a fan. Most people are not a fan of you or your family, right? So that's why you're here, Brian. But don't say we are here because the justice system failed us, because the justice system had the first trial, then the second trial. And just because you don't like the outcome, it doesn't mean it was a failure. Actually, a lot of it was against Karen Reed. Like, you could see how the judge, how the rulings, a lot of evidence that wasn't allowed in, for doctors to come and say that she limited a lot of the witnesses' testimony. She wouldn't let every doctor say it was consistent with the dog bite. She only allowed Dr. Russell. So, you know, it's just like, that's why you're here. The justice system didn't fail. You just didn't get the result that you wanted. But now you're trying to repair your image so that you can try to have a normal life where you live, and you don't want to move. Big Tuna says, surprise, Brian Albert did this interview. You never talk. He knows that from Boston Police Department. Yeah, and I think they're just trying their hardest to help their image, you know, but the body language was very tough here to watch. So let's watch a little bit more. Oh, this has no sound because I'm just repeating how
And that's why we're here,
and Chris
because
are
there's
touching their
nobody left to
nose
stand up for us.
together.
Think real long and hard before you're a witness in a case, because
So I think you don't really have a choice to be a witness in a case, right? If you have a subpoena, aren't you supposed to show up? But yeah, this lady shows a lot of anger, you know, and she has a lot of facial expressions going on.
no one protects you. And it's very, very sad.
She didn't mean sad because she was going to say something else. She said it's very, she was going to say something else. I don't know what she was going to say, but then she decided to use the word sad instead. Now, let's contrast this interview with a little bit of how Brian Albert showed his body language during the closing statement last year. Okay, so let me go back here to where I was. This was a very good video too. Hold on. Right here. Let's watch as much as we can. Let's watch Brian, because he will definitely give out a lot of information here.
Didn't want.
We'll go back to the
See, you're the only
beginning.
thing standing between Karen Reed and the tyranny of injustice. A job you didn't want, but it's the greatest responsibility.
Look
we
at how
have as
angry he
citizens
looks.
here in America.
He's doing lip.
A job you didn't want, but it's the greatest responsibility we have as citizens here in America. Preparing for today, I was reminded
Of a quote.
to quote about the truth. Quote to quote about the truth. Quote to quote
Everybody
about the
puts their
truth.
heads down.
And those who
Now, that kind of stuff, when it happens in with more than one person, it's really amazing because body language, a lot of what we do is subconscious. And nobody's saying, hey, when this happens, you do this with your body. But the fact that when he says truth, Brian Albert puts his head down, Carrie Roberts puts her head down, and it's so quick. But I kind of clipped it in a way that I repeated it 3 times so that we could catch it better. It's just fascinating to me. That's why I love body language. The same way with the other interview when Brian Albert says the justice system failed us, and Matt McCabe touches his nose and Chris goes to touch his face all at the same time. So they do it at the same time, meaning something about this sentence made somebody uncomfortable, that their body responded in a way that they had to make a move to relieve anxiety. So we touch our faces because it's called an adapter. And that's how we relieve anxiety somehow. It doesn't mean our nose is actually itching, especially when two people do it at the same time. It means that something about that information created a certain level of stress that needs to be released, and that's the way the body decided to adapt. So let's keep going here.
permit themselves to tell a lie once find it much easier
Let's keep looking at Brian
to do
Albert
it
in
a
the
second
back.
time and a third.
Again, this is 2024
third.
closing statement. So he's doing the chewing, the biting the cheeks, disapproval, and almost like in
This
a
falsehood
threat.
of the tongue leads to that of the heart, and in time it depraves all its good dispositions. What does that mean? It means that it's been observed that to tell an untruth, to exaggerate, to make a false claim,
Look
it's
at
a
his
cancer.
face. He keeps going.
One lie begets another, and it's a malignancy that grows over time.
He does the tongue to the side of the mouth. Disgust. It's so gross. He's so gross. Something's wrong. Contempt, stress, anger. You can see all that from the chewing, the mouth grooming that he does, the puffing the air out.
And that, folks, is how a cover-up is born.
Look at his face. See?
That's how a Massachusetts state trooper says.
Now that was live. Like that was live because some of these reactions I have to play on repeat so that we can catch them. Otherwise, they happen in a second. But when he says, and that's how a cover up is born, he goes like, Brian Albert is in the back doing the mouth grooming, disgust or whatever, and just keeps going and puffing air and chewing, biting. All of that is negative, is disapproval, is anger, is defiance, all of those little signs. Scott says, great interview you gave, Bianca. So correct. Thank you so much, Scott. It's great to see you here. Scott is part of the Young Jerks channel. I think he's a moderator there. So it's always a honor to have you here. Ashley says that mouth press Brian Albert does is so telling. And when he does it, he uses his cheeks as well, like a flinch of sorts. He did it during testimony constantly. Yeah, his testimony had a lot going on as well. Crazy that the back row put their head down after the truth. Yes. I think he chose the wrong seats to sit in. Yeah, notice this year he did not show up in court. He's like, I'm done because that girl Bianca MMM is gonna be pulling my body language, facial expressions. Is gonna tell the whole world how I really feel. Me here, this is an adapter. So Mark's like, what does it mean when you keep pulling your hair? LOL. This is an adapter because it's kind of like I'm anxious, not anxious, but it's a way for me to self-soothe, pacify myself because I'm live. I have to do all these videos. I have to make sure you guys are getting the right videos. So I get like, I guess like it's to soothe, it's okay. It's going to be okay. You're doing okay. That I'm doing all these things at once. Scott, body language reading is not a fact, but human beings know it when they see it, especially in person. People have auras. Their eyes are the windows of the soul. Exactly. Yeah, Corinne is saying it's nervous. Exactly. Sometimes I get nervous because I want to make sure we have a great show. I don't want to make mistakes. And that's how I'll be like adapting. I'll be like, oh, let me move, let me touch my hair, etc., etc. But Scott's right. A lot of things that I say here is about how when you meet somebody and you just have a gut feeling, you're like, there's something good about this person. I really like this person. Or the opposite, like, ooh, I can't trust. And that is because we do have a gut feeling on the aura or whatever, however you say that word. So let's keep going here with this video from last year, and then we'll go back a little bit on this year.
In whispered tones to his friends when he thought no one was looking or listening. You don't have to wonder if they would lie to support their narrative.
Pause many
You can only
times.
wonder how many times they did lie.
That was fantastic closing statement, by the way.
They and others were caught deceiving big things, small things. It didn't really matter. They feared nothing. They'll look you in the eye and deny phone calls. They'll deny secret
That's you,
meetings.
Brian.
They'll claim that calls are butt dials and butt dials are answered. They'll show you a video and tell you left is right and right is left. They'll magically turn 3 pieces of plastic into 5 right before your eyes. And even when they're caught with their own lies, they won't blink, they don't sweat. They'll just look you in the eye and demand, pay no attention. You folks.
Now Carrie's
look
doing a
the
little
other
mouth
way.
grooming.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was a cover-up in this case, plain and simple. You'll surely say to yourself, I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe that can happen in our community. But sadly, over the past 8 weeks, we've seen it right before your eyes. So how does a cover-up happen? Well, let's count the ways, shall we? Before your eyes. So how does a cover-up happen? Well, let's count the ways, shall we? Sure. Handpick your investigator. Make sure it's someone we know, someone on our side. Keep them close. Don't record interviews. Write vague and false police reports. Omit witnesses' names. Omit witnesses' interviews altogether.
So that is something Brian Albert does a lot. The lemon face, like when you have the corners of your mouth like this, something like that. It's kind of like when you have a sour taste in your mouth, something that is not pleasant. So even though when I first saw him and I first heard his testimony, I was like, oh, he has no expressions. He has so many expressions, and that happens all the time when I'm watching somebody. I'm like, oh, that there is nothing there. And then when I start like looking at the video and just watching the person, there's so much there. So I just want to take a quick stop here to say hi to the people that just came in. Also, guys, don't forget to help me out. Hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and rewatch later on the rewatch crew and leave a comment. You know why? Because that helps the YouTube algorithm to recommend my channel to other people. And sometimes these things that I do here, the videos, they take a lot of hours for me to create. And it helps to keep me motivated because, like YouTube is very difficult. I don't make like a lot of money out of it and almost nothing, to be honest. I do it for fun and to hang out with you guys. And I just want to keep being motivated. I don't want to give up. So you guys being here really mean the world to me. So don't forget to hit that like. We also have a Facebook group that Karina is amazing created and she manages. And also X. Follow me on X because whenever I have updates, I put it there. And our day is Sunday. Sunday afternoon is our day. I don't stream every single Sunday, but that's my goal, is to stream as much as I can on Sunday so that you guys can have consistency with me as well. So hello, everybody. Mark, hi, Queen. How are you? There is a queen here. There is a queen, and her name is Queen Olive. Morrissey's iCloud and Denise. Lucinda, we said hi to you guys. Mark. Stormy here in Lady Lake, Florida. I love storms. I love storms. I love storms. DJ White, happy Sunday from Oklahoma. Hello. Happy Sunday to you. We talked to Coffee, Big Tuna, allow all your work, allow all you want, talking about the judge. We have Denise, we have Jimmy James, the justice system failed Karen in many ways. We got Lucinda. No, Mac Alberts. Karma is coming. Corinne is saying he leaked so much during closing arguments. That's true. That's true. We also have Olga El Corona. Explain your MMM. What those letters mean? Just curious. I joined the channel when you did a presentation on another YouTube channel. Great stuff you do. Congratulations. Thank you. I'm so happy you found my channel and you're here. Welcome, Olga. We have a great chat. Everybody here is super nice. MMM stands for mind, meditation, and motivation. And you will find playlists on my channel that have guided meditations that I script, I create, I write them, I do the videos behind them, I do the voiceover, guided meditations based on topics like anxiety, worry, fear, to help people that may want to enjoy that type of meditations. That meditation, I know it helps me. So that's why I decided to create those. Motivation, all kinds of motivation, mental motivation, physical motivation to be healthy, to have positive outlooks in life, to restart your day anytime, to have a better life inside. Because honestly, we spend so much time in social media comparing ourselves to other people and just in anxiety nowadays, rapid gratification. And we don't spend so much time learning how to breathe, how to be with ourselves, how to learn about ourselves, and just to be peaceful and happy with what we have, which is so much, Eileen Taylor, hello. Hi, everyone. Bedtime for me as working in the morning, but we'll be listening. Blessings to all. Good to have you here, Eileen. I'm so glad you're here. Kelly Cow, yay, you're still alive. Yeah, we started 4 today. I'm glad you're here. Hey, y'all, hit the like button, please. Hey, Mark, that's right. Says AJ sounds even more badass with the music. That's right. These people are so sketchy, Calical says. Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys are also saying hi to each other. Mark says he is reacting to the truth. DA Meatball Morrissey, hostage tape from 2023 was gaslighting of the public, lapped up by the complicit MSM propaganda in your face. This is Scott McGinnis. Um, so Kimberly's here. Kimberly McGuire, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Mark says, missed you last Sunday. I had to go to Disney World. I do apologize. It was a very difficult sacrifice I made, but I had a lot of fun. So that's why I wasn't here last Sunday, but I missed you too. Olga says, tuning in from sunny San Diego. That sounds amazing. TJY, Sunday Fun Day with Bianca. Yes, we're here to have fun and just have like a chill, peaceful day. Kimberly watching from Ontario, Canada. That's amazing. I'm sure you know our friend Ronco, who is a badass. I love Ronco. Super nice chat. And thank you, Ask Bob, for the memberships. Thank you so much for the memberships. You are the bestest of the best. I know bestest is not a word. Olga and Kelly Cal, people always tell me I need to breathe better. LOL. Guys, we don't think about breathing. We think, oh, we all breathe all the time. We're fine. But taking a deep breath is very different. Look, go to the nose, go through the neck, let the breath go into your chest, into the belly, shoulders, and then like a real deep breath. You feel the stress coming out. It's not all the time that we do it. It's not all the time that we do it. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Ask Bob. Denise says, Nate. Hello, Nate. Hi, Bianca in chat. Good. So, anyways, so we're gonna contrast this, which we are. Let's finish a little bit more of Brian Albert here with his. matches a lot of Brian Albert's face, right? I'm gonna fast forward here a little bit.
And ensure the homeowner,
Look at his blink.
quote, never sees
Brian
any
Albert,
shit
the homeowner.
because
Who's
he's
the
a
brown?
busted cop.
Who's the
But
homeowner?
most important,
Ooh.
pick your patsy. What does it look like when the government picks a narrative and then tries to form a prosecution around the narrative? It looks a lot like this. Because Karen was too kind, too nice, spoiled them too much, illustrated what anybody
Look at him looking at the
imagines is a
jury.
normal set of ups and downs for any couple.
And then they talk about jury intimidation. And real quick, there is a difference between when you're listening to something that you think it's ridiculous, preposterous, right? That doesn't make any sense. Like somebody saying, oh, he never came, this is a lie. He never came out of the house. Let's say I'm in his position and I'm thinking that's like ridiculous accusation. My face would be like nonsense, you're talking nonsense. But Brian Albert's face is not nonsense. Brian Albert's face is like suppressed anger, and it's very different feelings that he's portraying here.
Out, they communicated, they worked out their issues, and they had a nice, affectionate evening.
See, it's like anger.
And you don't
He doesn't know what to do with the air.
Hold a tape, as they say. Look at the video. What are the words that every single person who testified in this case used about Karen Reed and John O'Keefe that night?
That they were
lovey-dovey?
lovey-dovey?
What is a motive for murder? Folks were all in trouble. Speaking of which, what is the evidence that John went into the house? The Commonwealth will tell you, undoubtedly. No, he never went in the house. It shows that he took 80 steps and ascended or descended 3 flights of stairs at that time. And that makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Oh, water.
Walks
Lots
into
of
the
water.
house, goes directly to the basement. There's your 80 steps and your descending flights of stairs. The big problem for the Commonwealth is he wasn't outside at the car, ascending and descending stairs, wasn't climbing on top of the car. So they'll tell you, wait, don't look at the application.
Hold on. So Carrie Roberts here, I don't think there's any issues with her because honestly, I don't think Carrie Roberts knows anything about what happened in that house that evening, right? But Brian Albert is reacting to the when Alan Jackson is talking about John O'Keefe being inside the house, the steps he's taking, his blink rate goes through the roof. He starts drinking a lot of water, huffing and puffing. So now let's take a look at his wife. When this time in 2025, they were talking about the same thing, right? Did he go into the house? So let's see how his wife reacted when he wasn't. They were asking Brian Albert.
Was the high risk.
Right? Brian Albert is the one that is going to answer this question, I believe. But his wife, Nicole, Coco, is that her name? Nicole? She's the one that is going to react. So why is it that when they're talking about John O'Keefe being inside the house, these two organisms, Brian and his wife, they react so strongly to this? Okay, so let's take a look because it's not me saying, it's their face saying. Okay, let's take a look.
Let the court do its job.
Did John ever come in the house?
Never. No.
This is her initial face, right? Initial face, she's looking at the interviewer like what is coming, and then let's see how it progresses from there. Really quick, she's going to have a big swallow. Then there's going to be a combination of a downward turn mouth, right? When we go like that. I don't even know how to do it. Ooh. So she goes, both corners of her mouth go down. At the same time, she raises her eyebrows, big swallow. So that combination indicates negative, surprise, disbelief, uncertainty, holding back information or emotions, dismissal, and anxiety. And then we go back to the topic to think about this. How does this connect to the topic? Was John ever in the house? Holding back information? Does that make sense to her face? Yeah, if he did go into the house and she's holding back that information, that's why her face will be saying that. Negative. disbelief, uncertainty. If you have I'm not saying she does, but if you have a piece of information that he did go into the house, but your family is telling you have to lie and say, no, he never went into the house, your face will show incongruent facial expressions, right? Because your brain knows something and your face is trying to say something else. So holding back. Let me see here. Lisa Mal. Hi, Bianca and chat. Love this. First thing I thought when I watched the sham of an interview was, I can't wait to watch Bianca break this down. Thank you so much, Lisa. It is very telling with their faces. Nate says AJ was great with all Bev threw at them. Also, resting B face on that lady. Yes, 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 yes. Oozing, snoozing, Susan says, I try to make that frown. It's hard to do. Everybody at home, try to do a upside down corner of your mouth. And then at the same time, raise your eyebrows and do a deep swallow. That is what Nicole is doing. Tell me if you guys were able to do that. Tell me if you guys were able to do that. Just so hard to do, right? All of that when the interviewer is asking, did John O'Keefe go into the house? Kelly Cow is laughing because I say these two organisms. Yeah, the behavioral panel, they always say the organism does what the organism is successful at doing. So sometimes when I see people that are very questionable, I have to say organism, I have to say organism. So let's keep going with her. Let's see what else we get from Nicole. Okay, so then she looks to the sides, right? All of this happens in a matter of seconds, right? So she's gonna look side to side and side to side, and then they're all gonna nod together, I believe, like searching for something, searching for approval. And this the eye delay, delaying opening your eyelids or upon hearing information, or keeping your eyes closed for a long time is indicative of negative emotions or displeasure. So in body language, there's a term called cluster. Cluster, which I'm sure most of you have heard. Cluster is when there's more than one thing happening at once in a micro expression, right? So here, in a matter of seconds, when she hears the question, did John O'Keefe go into the house? She does big swallow, eyebrow raise, upside down frown, delaying opening after she searched, looked side to side, searching. That's what we're doing, searching either for approval or searching for something. All of that together is a cluster. So that's why it's so powerful during this question, because why is it that this question about John being in the house creates this powerful emotional reaction on her? So let's keep going. This is everybody nodding together like robots.
Did John ever come in the house?
Never.
Down.
No.
You never saw John O'Keefe in the house, right?
Never.
Right?
Never.
Right? So the interviewer again is helping, right? He's like, so you never saw him, right? Right? Yeah, I mean, sure. If you say so, right. Scott says the McAlvers are worried the world wants to know who unalived Officer John O'Keefe. Their pathetic attempt to use ABC as their propagandist, Matt Gutless Gutman, is such a robot. Lisa Mao is saying covering up murder will do that to a person, Corina. Right. Queen Olive saying, my daughter is on her way over with twin grandbabies. My brother-in-law is here visiting, so in a few minutes I'll just be lurking. That's okay. I'm actually going to try to end in like 30 minutes, so we have until about 5:10. Because I do have somewhere else to go today, but we're going to be back next Sunday, guys, for sure. Ask Bob, how can these people sleep at night? Corina says, I think she's aged so much in a year. Just saying. Who you think, Coco? Not so easy to do that face. It's not easy at all, right? It's hard to do without pouting. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to do it all. Because it's like, how do you get your eyebrows up, your lips down, big swallow, then you search, and then you go like, no, he never came into the house. Also, Coco needs a new hairstyle. Just saying, maybe Nick Rocco can help her out. But Jen looks great. I mean, I think Jen did her teeth or something and her hair. She looks great. Great job, Jen. Just stop Googling how long to dye the coat and you'll be even better. Kimberly said that's hard to do. It's right. I try to make that frown. It's hard to do. Everybody that tried it's hard to do. So let's see a little bit more of this portion of the interview. Go ahead.
These are people in your own community who believe the conspiracy theories, who believe that there were other law enforcement officials and agents involved in this. Why is it people in your own community who believe these conspiracy theories?
You do realize for this conspiracy to be true,
No.
it would take 30 to 50 people.
No.
You'd have to have multiple cops on 2 different police departments, multiple civilians, the medical examiner, firemen, EMT.
So that's not true, right? And then if you are a journalist who is actually trying to search for the truth, what could you do there? Oh, you do realize you would have to have like 50 people and be like, well, actually, not really. If you had maybe 5 people that knew what really happened and one person to not ask a lot of questions, everybody else would just go along with whatever the first story was, which seems to be what happened because Karen did not hit John O'Keefe with a 6,000-pound SUV and broke no bones and had no injuries in his body. So something else happened. And another thing I was telling Mike on the Young Jerks was be outraged, right? If this is my friend and they didn't prove Kara Reed did it, something else happened to them. It wasn't my dog. It wasn't me. So what the hell happened outside my house? I want to know. I need answers. I want the investigation to continue. I want to know what happened to my friend. He is a police officer. He was an honorable man, and I demand a real investigation. But no, these people are not asking for any of that. They're just saying, listen, we're good. We're the Alberts. We have lived here our whole lives. Please just leave us alone because we have nothing to do with anything. Scott saying, haha, I was sign bombing. Matt Gutless is from off court with my free carried sign. He got so upset and stopped filming. What a baby. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Just Julie. Glad I found your channel. The behavior panel is overrated. Thank you, Julie. I mean, I do like them. I have learned so much from them. But the thing that I try to do different here is I try to pause or do slow motion or replay so that when I am observing a microfacial expression or cluster or something about the body language or distancing language behavior, I can show you guys and you can experience with me. Because sometimes when I'm watching the behavioral panel, they play the clip, then they talk, and then they play the clip again, and I'm like, where was it? Where was that facial expression he was talking about? And I can't find it. So I hope that it's helpful to you guys. Morris's iCloud, aka Denise, says he never answered the question, he deflected. Lisa says firemen are also the AMC, so that's that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And you can join Bianca's Facebook group here on this link that my beautiful Karina has written for all of us. Ashley says 5 to 6 people who are all family members, someone to not ask questions, right? Proctor, an investigator who purposefully doesn't investigate by design, which is Trooper B. So you got Proctor, who is a friend of the family because somebody babysits his children. He is offered a gift, like, oh, I'm going to give you a gift. He says, no, don't give it to me, give it to my wife. All of that is in writing on the text messages. You got his supervisor, Trooper B, who doesn't care because he says, hey, don't you know the Alberts? Aren't you like friends with them? And he says, no. Proctor responds, I'm impartial. Trooper B says, great. That's all I needed to hear. Let's continue on. So very easy to believe. This conspiracy. Very easy to believe after we have seen all of you guys last year. Nate says it only took 10 people to make this happen, all mostly related. Example 5 in that studio, which are showing, right, that unison, they're showing how they're doing everything together. Yes. No, like, dude, this is already a proof that you guys have some type of, writing a timeline together. All of these things you guys are doing, you're like, oh, people will be crazy to believe that we conspired to do something. Let me continue on this comment. The other 5 protection for each other as mates for 30 years. Yeah, Brian Higgins, thin blue line, not so thin. Yeah. Yeah. We're not stupid. And my hair, like I continue to touch my hair today. It's too much. We're not stupid. So we can see the information and make our own decision and just have an opinion on our own. Thank you so much, Brian Albert, for trying to tell us that you would be crazy to believe that something else would have happened. Lisa says, who knows if Proctor even knows the truth? He may just be taking his good friend's word for it, but thought perhaps the evidence was lacking, so he just helped it along, but still believes she hit him. Yeah, I think Proctor did show kind of that type of possibility, especially in the beginning. He's texting his friends and he's saying, yeah, it looks like, she hit him. She was drunk. She waffled him. Oh, but isn't the owner of the house gonna catch any beeps? And Proctor's like, no, he's a Boston cop too. So, which means what? We're not gonna go ask him a lot of questions. We're not gonna investigate. But somebody's telling me that this is what happened, so that's satisfactory. Like, I'm not gonna go any further. So let me play a little bit because I did want to talk to you guys about the Alberts in general. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the Alberts from last year because we had a lot more Alberts that testified last year, and we had a lot more red flags, right, on all these people. So hold on. Make sure this is the right video. Looks like it is. So let's see. Who
I'm
is
not
this
sure.
one? This is
After?
Colin.
Might
I
have been
think.
this same night. I really don't know.
Well, you're dressed completely differently, so it's probably not the same night. You would agree with that?
Unless I could have changed my shirt. I do that often.
Actually, this is so funny. I love the Carrie trial because the Carrie trial is the trial that keeps on giving. And because she's free now, I can even celebrate, And I'm going to tell you why. Just watching this real quick from last year and Colin Albert saying, I changed my shirt. I do that a lot. It's so funny because I'm pretty sure he wore the same shirt to testify 2 days in a row.
They were.
If anyone did you encounter as you were coming out?
As I was walking out, I saw my Uncle Brian and my Aunt Nicole.
And you were going out, and what were they doing?
They were coming in.
And in addition to your Uncle Brian and your Aunt Nicole, was there anybody else that you recall that was with them when they came into the house?
No, not that I remember.
And what, if any, exchange did you have with your uncle?
Do you guys miss what, if anything?
I just said, I'm going home. My mom wants me home. I love you guys. Bye.
Love ya. Bye. Bye. Nate is saying maybe the dog bites are a given though. Cops know what a bite looks like. They may not have seen how bad they were as long as the sleeve shirt on it Saturday. They didn't realize how bad Chloe bit until later. Maybe until the autopsy, right? When they saw the pictures of the bites, because that was very clear. But as far as at the scene, maybe all they saw was the arm bloody or something like that. I don't know. Ashley says, and who is the only person in this scenario who didn't Google, delete, but dial and show very shady, suspicious behavior during that time? Karen Reed. Karen Reed she had nothing to hide. Thomas T, that's his Bible study shirt. Nothing wrong with Bible study, but wearing one shirt to make you look, nicer than you would be is the point here. Queen Olive, I think Proctor knows the truth. I'm pretty sure the Alberts, especially Brian, has a reputation. And I think at this point, they all know the truth, right? At this point, they all know something, something, something. They all know. Like Brian Higgins, if he wasn't involved, he knows. Whoever was involved, like whoever wasn't involved, probably knows by now that shady stuff was happening. Like Carrie Roberts, right? Carrie Roberts wasn't there that night. She was there the next day. But after all this, you don't think that she will like question herself? Oh crap, that did look like bites from a dog. Maybe I'm in the wrong side here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day she'll come back, and be like, listen, Karen, I'm sorry. I effed up. I effed up because I thought they were right. I don't know. Let's see a little bit more of the Alberts and how their personalities shine through the screen.
About what time would it have been that you left?
12:10.
12:10.
Mr. Higgins arrived. When, in relation to that, when did Colin leave the house?
Colin was actually getting up and leaving as they were coming into the house.
And similar to,
adapter.
do you know how Colin left your house or how whether or not he drove or was picked up or anything?
Yeah, he was sitting at the table and I was actually sitting right next to him and he stood up and said, "I'm leaving, Allie's picking me up." And so I knew who Allie was because she's my cousin.
Okay, this is when I had started doing YouTube, so I have all these things in the middle because I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
12:05, 12:10-ish in that area.
12:10. Everybody's gonna say
And
12:10.
just turning back to Colin for a second. Do you recall?
What is the meaning of a conspiracy?
how
Let me
Colin
Google
came to be
this.
a-
Conspiracy definition.
Like how we
You testified that your parents and Brian Higgins arrived shortly after midnight with your sister, correct?
Yeah, I believe I said around 12:05, 12:10 in that area.
Describe what happened when they came into the house that night.
They all just walked in the door. And at that point, my cousin Colin was standing up to leave. They passed each other, said hi. And that was
So conspiracy, right? To conspire, to plot, to conspire. So a group plotting something, usually with a bad motive behind, but all of the Alberts family is going to come in. I mean, they came in last year and they testified 12:10, 12:10, 12:10. And this is obviously rehearsed. It was obviously a plan. They wrote a timeline together. So that's, again, conspiring together, making a plan together. And they get so offended when people talk about conspiracy.
About what time that was?
Oh, this is
I want to say about
this is Julie Albert. She is, I believe, Colin Albert's mom. She is married to Chris Albert, who is Brian Albert's brother. So Julie did not appear on this interview they did this year in 2025. So let's take a look at Julie's demeanor.
after 12, maybe 12:10, around there.
So sometime around 12:10?
Sometime around 12:10, yes.
12.
And what, if anything, do you recall specifically about when your husband Christopher came?
He came upstairs to my room. He was shivering because it was cold out. And he immediately went to the bathroom, got undressed, and got into bed.
Ew. No.
And,
Chris said that he didn't even take a shower or brush his teeth. Or maybe he didn't even take his shoes off, that he literally got up from walking in the snow and drinking in a bar, and he just laid in bed next to Julie here, 12:10.
Your son Colin, have you been in communication with
Yes.
him over the evening?
Yes.
And about how long was it after your husband
How
came
long?
home that your son called?
10 to 15 minutes.
And were you essentially waiting up for him?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Is that sort of common practice?
Yes. I do not go to bed until my kids are home.
And is there another common practice as far as when your kids come home, where do they go when they first come in?
They immediately will always.
Well, what time?
Yeah, I mean, Colin didn't go. Caitlyn didn't go. Julie didn't go. Who else? Brian Albert Jr. didn't go to the interview. So yeah, it was very telling who was not there. Scott says, haha, Coco called Yuri that name. The most hilarious moment of the trial. One, Coco had turtle boy in her head. Hey, Trickles, Vixie Blaze. Hello, good afternoon, and happy Sunday to you. Nate says all exact time is dodgy as Surly. Surely some would say 12:15, not always 12:10. Exactly. Somebody's like, I don't know, it was like around midnight. Or it was 12:15, I think, or I think it was like 12:30 or 12:10. 12:10. 12:10. 12:10 is just so
Was it,
rehearsed.
if you know, about what time was it that you left the bar?
A little before 12, 12-ish.
And who, if anyone, left with you?
12-ish?
It was me, my daughter, Caitlyn, and my husband.
Well, good evening in England.
How did you get, bless you, how did you get from the waterfall back to your house on Thursday?
What if anything?
My husband drove the three
How,
of us
if
back
anyhow,
to
did you
Fairview
get
Road.
there? How, if anyhow?
And when you came outside of the waterfall and were sort of, getting into your car and about to drive home, what, if anything, did you observe as far as the weather or what was going on at that point?
It was just starting to snow a little, nothing major. Just a little snowfall started coming down.
You could still sort of see the street and the blacktop.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And again, about how long a car ride is that, generally speaking, from the waterfall to your house on Thursday?
5 minutes, 7 minutes.
So 12:10.
And as when you arrived at Fairview, who, if anyone, was there?
Who, if anyone?
When we arrived and I came in, my son was sitting there with his two friends and my nephew Colin, who is Julie and Chris's son. He was there. I kind of bumped into him when I walked in. I didn't realize he was there. I said, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And he said, oh, I just stopped by to see Brian, but I'm about to leave. My ride's about to be here. I said, oh, okay.
What are you doing here?
And
so you are, okay, so you're getting home, right? It's your son's birthday, and then your nephew is there. A bunch of people are there. Are you going to say, hey, what are you doing here? I would be like, hey, Colin, how are you? You want something to eat? Or I don't know. It's just weird. Hey, what are you doing here? Because in the first trial, they were trying to distance Colin as much as they could to the situation. They said, no, Colin was leaving. We don't even know what Colin was doing there. Nobody invited Caitlyn Albert. And then look at what she does with her mouth, the mouth disappearing lips, right? Right after she says, what were you doing here, Colin? She goes like, When you disappear the lips, meaning something is wrong. That's the meaning of that one. So let's see what else.
Let me back up just for a minute. So when you arrived there, your husband Brian.
Can you be faster, Lolly?
In relation to the house?
We pulled into the driveway.
And typically, is there sort of an order to it as far as again about how long a car ride is that, here, generally speaking, from the waterfall to your house on Thursday?
5 minutes, 7 minutes.
So 12:10.
As when you arrived at Fairview, who, if anyone, was there when you got there?
When we arrived and I came in, my son was sitting there with his two friends
Coco
and
always looks like
my
Coco.
nephew Colin, who is Julie and Chris's son. He was there. I kind of bumped into him when I walked in. I didn't realize he was there. I said, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And he said, oh, I just stopped by to see Brian, but I'm about to leave. My ride's about to be here.
Okay, so let me just try to find Caitlyn real quick. Okay, we got a little bit of Chris. Let's see a little bit of Chris.
Yes,
And how do you know that?
because he opened the bedroom door and said, good night, guys. I love you. I'm home.
Colin.
And about how long after you got home was it that your son got home?
I'd say within 10 minutes.
And as far as sort of coming into your room, is that something that was required of your kids when they came home?
He would always do that. Yeah, that was something just to let us know that they were home.
Okay. So I want to show Caitlyn because Caitlyn's, I don't know if this video is going to oh, we got Brian. Let's do a second of Brian.
Now, Mr. Albert, when you get to the parking lot, you get in the vehicle and you drive to your house. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And specifically, you're the one driving. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who is in your car with you on the drive back?
My wife Nicole and my daughter
Oh, I
Caitlin.
sped this up
And about
because
how far drive is it
Lolly's
from
too
Waterfall?
slow for me, for my brain.
I would say five minutes.
And the weather, as far as when you walk out, get in the car, and then start driving, what, if anything, had changed about the weather from the time you came into the waterfall to the time you came out?
Yeah, so it had started snowing a little bit more heavily. You can kind of see that on that second video. So the ground was beginning to be, coated, I look like.
So coating on the ground.
I would say five minutes.
And, the weather, as far as when you walk out, get in the car, and then start driving. What, if anything, had changed about the weather from the time you came into the waterfall to the time you came out?
Yeah, so it had started snowing a little bit more heavily. You can kind of see that
So
on that
much
second
weather
video.
on this
so
one.
the ground was beginning to be, coated, it looked like.
Okay. Let me see if I have Caitlyn. Yeah, we got a little Caitlyn here.
The demeanor of the group that you were with.
I mean, my dad.
And about how long a drive is that from the waterfall to Fairview?
I would say like 5 or 6 minutes, give or take.
And
when you
disappearing
arrived,
lips,
to the
big
house at
swallow.
Fairview, do you recall where your father parked in relation to the house?
From what I can remember, he parked in the driveway. The driveway.
And if you know about how
Disappearing
many other
lips.
cars were in the driveway when you parked?
I'm not sure. I know there was at least like 1 or 2, but I can't say for sure. I just don't really remember how many were in the driveway at the time. I had like younger siblings in college at the time who would sometimes take some of the cars, so I just don't remember for sure.
What?
You
Caitlyn
know,
got married
essentially,
yesterday,
within the
finally.
driveway, there's a garage at the end of the driveway.
Weren't they together forever?
Two on the left, two on the right. Is that right?
Oh,
Yes.
but I hope it wasn't that guy.
Holding the driveway on the left side or the right side in relation to those two?
I don't remember.
Tristan?
Into the house,
Tristan?
remember how it was that you came from?
You guys remember Tristan? I don't remember times. I don't know times. I don't remember times. Tristan is Caitlyn's boyfriend that was with her for like, I don't know how many years. And they weren't engaged. And it was just funny last year when he testified and he was just saying like, I don't know times. Tristan. Yeah. I don't know times. I don't know times. I don't know times. So anyways, we're going to have one more small video before we close for today, because today we had to do a shorter than usual. Sometimes we stay here for 2-3 hours. We hang out a lot. So I'm just happy that you guys were all here. There's a lot of videos. If you're new to this channel, let me tell you guys, because a lot of people have been here since last year, but if you're new to the channel, there are 2 playlists you should check out. Karen Reed Trial, which is from last year, and it has long videos. It has like Brian Higgins, 3-hour video. It has Brian Albert. It has Colin Albert. It has Proctor. All the main people are there. I have body language for everybody, detailed, funny videos. Then also we have this year, which is Carried Retrial. And we have less videos, but we do have a lot of videos. We have Dever, body language. We have the EMT, Timothy. We have a lot of people there as well. So check it out, because you guys might actually find something that is very interesting to watch. So before we go, let me play this little montage. I think I did the number 2. So this is going to be the judge and everybody again. It's a little song. Let's.
Morning, jurors.
Wait. It's too high.
Any sort of
Good morning,
anything.
jurors. Good morning, jurors.
Can you answer that?
That's who, if anyone.
I do have to ask you those 3 questions.
What, if anything?
Good morning, jurors.
September 4th was my birthday.
Thank you, Ashley.
Any sort
That's
of-
my
any sort of
birthday,
what, if
actually.
anything.
I'll see you guys next Sunday for sure.
Yes. Good morning,
Check it
Ms.
out.
Reed.
Check it out.
Any sort of
Leave
what,
a
if
like.
anything.
Leave a like.
Going from the general description of the house, please.
Approach.
Yes.
Approach.
Yes. I'll allow that.
Thank you. Calm up, rest.
Who, if anyone else? Who, if anyone else?
Objection, Your Honor.
And I'm going to be asking the question. Was there something confusing about my question? Do you want to stick with that?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Use whatever words you want to. Rehomed, rehoused, whatever. But you got rid of it.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Unetti for Karen Reed.
Good morning, Mr. Unetti. Good morning, Ms. Reed.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
September 4th was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Objection. May we approach? May we approach?
The investigation.
Approach.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Calm up, rest.
Is that her name? Is that her name?
Just briefly. Just briefly. Just briefly.
So I'll allow that.
So
I'll allow that.
Objection.
Sustained.
Thank you, Your Honor. Calm up, rest.
lucky.
Sustained.
Objection.
Sustained.
Oh, Proctor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Calm up, rest.
Go ahead. Mr. Lally,'s question wasn't objected to. Was there an objection?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the objection sustained.
Objection. Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth rest.
Next question.
Adam Lally for the Commonwealth. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Lally.
Good morning, Your Honor. Laura McLaughlin for the
Good
Commonwealth.
morning, Miss McLaughlin.
Yes, Denise, we hope you're safe.
Miss Giannetti, please no more, of course.
Of course, Your Honor.
Of course, Your
Did she
Honor.
ignore the text, Mr. Higgins?
That wasn't very difficult.
Objection, Your Honor.
Did it fly out of your hand unexpectedly into a trash
So
bag?
badass last year. All the comments.
Good morning, Mr. Jackson. Good morning, Miss Little.
Good morning, sirs.
Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth rest. Thank you, Your Honor. Commonwealth rest.
All right, guys. Thank you so much and happy Sunday. I'll see you next Sunday. Please stay connected on social media so we can give you updates during the week. Have a great, great evening, everybody. Love you all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching, guys. Bianca MMM, your go-to place for mind meditation and motivation to elevate your life and keep you entertained. I'm passionate about exploring the human mind and psychology. And here, we dive into court proceedings, body language analysis, and sprinkle in a bit of humor along the way. You will also find content to boost your personal growth physically and mentally, featuring quick meditation techniques and uplifting messages to kickstart your day. Your support means the world to me. Until next time, take care and stay positive.